Coming up on Dallas Mavericks today, we're going to run through our perfect trade deadline for your Dallas Mavericks. Coop and I collaborated on this. He's actually out today, so just me hosting solo in this episode, but we got a 3-step process to hopefully have a perfect trade deadline for the Dallas Mavericks. But we also want to do a mailbag episode around your trade ideas. So spam your trade ideas down in the comments right now. Best ones get on the show with the trade deadline less than 2 weeks away. We want to hear from you, so drop your best trade ideas down in the comments. Best ones get on the show. Appreciate everybody for doing so. All right, let's get into this here. Number one, ship out Grant Williams. I'm not saying there's no possibility this thing turns around, but it's kind of alarming how bad he's been for like 2 months now, 2.5 months. He just has not worked out, and it's a shame because the first few weeks of the season, he came out firing. He was playing well. He was shooting the three. He was playing defense. And since he suffered, I believe, just a minor ankle sprain at the time, he has just not been very good at all. I mean, you look at the production, the efficiency isn't that good. The three-point number has just slowly declined throughout the season. I don't think any of us expected him to come in here and all of a sudden be a 15-point scorer, but I thought he'd be, 10 to 12 points, more efficient from the field playing with Luka, and that's what it was early in the year. He was averaging like 12 points per game. He's shooting over 40% from three, and that has not been the case for a while now. I mean, the other night he actually came out and started 3 for 4 from the field, 2 for 3 from three in the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, and then did nothing the rest of the game, and that was like one of his better games recently. So it's unfortunate that it hasn't panned out well, but if you can flip him in a deal to bring in a more consistent piece, I think that's something you have to consider. How about this trade idea here? Nick Richards and, yes, Frankie Smokes, bring him back, Frank Ntilikina, for Grant Williams in a second-round pick. I'm not sure if that gets a deal done for Charlotte, but I know Nick Richards would be a good backup center here. I would certainly be open to some kind of framework around that. If they rather have someone like Richaun Holmes to replace Richards, that's totally fine as well. But if you can ship out Grant Williams for a rotation upgrade, I think that would be very much a smart thing to do. Would you accept this trade? Type A for accept or D for decline. Let us know in the comment section down below. I certainly would. I'm not sure it's enough on Charlotte's standpoint, but they have been leaked to being a selling team after flipping Terry Rozier, so let us know what you guys think. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. The NBA trade deadline is vastly approaching, 13 days away from filming this show. So if you want more Mavericks coverage, the latest news, rumors, and much more, go ahead and subscribe. We got you covered here on Dallas Mavericks today. All right, number two, acquire a scoring four. Listen, we've talked about this for a while, and a lot of this is tied to Grant Williams, quite frankly. You need someone in your front court that can score and create a little bit. The Mavericks don't have a single person who can do that. They just don't. Now, these are some names that have been rumored on the trade block. A couple have been linked to Dallas. Kyle Kuzma is the big one. I mean, I think he would fit in super well. He's obviously going to cost a lot. The report is Washington wants at least 2 first-round picks. The Mavericks can only trade 1, so they would have to throw significant player assets in there. P.J. Washington's out there. Jeremy Grant perhaps is an option, although I don't love that idea because his contract is 5 years. Andrew Wiggins, he's not really a 4, but he can play on the wing. He can create and score a little bit. You could bring back Dorian Finney-Smith, who obviously knows this team well and I think would fit in, but the report out of Brooklyn is that they want 2 first-round picks. I don't know about that. It's clear this is the biggest need. It's just, do you have the ammo to fill it, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to because, again, sure, you'd like to dump Grant Williams, but can you find a team that's willing to do that where you can actually upgrade? I'm not sure. So if you could get one of those 5 players, I would be thrilled. I don't think it's going to be easy to do so, but I just watch the Mavs right now, and it's kind of just live and dive from the three-point line, and Kyrie's missed some time recently, so outside of Luka, there's just not any consistent scores, especially, again, front court scoring. There's just none of that on this team. It's all guards. So you got to find someone on the wing at that 4 spot who can generate some offense for this basketball team. Get yourself a Luka Doncic jersey for 50% off. Chatsports.com/Luka Jordan. The reason I put Jordan, they also have Jordan branded ones for 50% off. This Nike one is also 50% off as well. chatsports.com/Luka Jordan. Go check them out today. 50% off for a limited time only. Get yourself a Mavericks Luka Doncic jersey. And then number 3, get a backup big center specifically. It's just a disaster after Dereck Lively. We've talked about this for a while. I mean, remember how nervous we were coming into the year of, oh my God, yeah, I think Dereck Lively can play some, but you don't have a starting caliber center. Well, luckily, he has been a starting caliber center, but you got nothing behind him. So you kind of got lucky based on your roster framework that Lively is better than expected this early, but you still don't have anybody else that when you check him into the game or check him out of the game can fill that void responsibly. Listen, Dwight Powell has been a good teammate. He's been a soldier for this team. He's not a guy you can play in the playoffs, though. We saw that 2 years ago when they went to the Western Conference Finals. They would have to take him out 2 minutes into the game because he was so bad. Maxi Kleber can play some 5, but he's more of a 4, and he's hurt all the time. Richaun Holmes is terrible at this point in his career. You need a backup 5. Now, it's going to be hard to get a backup 5 and a quality wing or a stretch 4, but you got to get at least one of them. And listen, can you get Andre Drummond for a second or for 2 second-round picks in some kind of salary filler? Like, he would be the ideal fit, especially if Chicago decides to unload some assets at the trade deadline. Listen, I might even be willing to throw a Jaden Hardy in there. This was Coop's idea, but I just think it's that big of a problem for the Dallas Mavericks right now that they do not have quality big play after Dereck Lively. So we'll see what happens. Drummond's defended pretty well this year. We know he's an elite rebounder also, and he could score around the basket as well. So we'll see what happens for the Dallas Mavericks at the NBA trade deadline. But that's a 3-step plan from us of what we would consider a perfect and at least somewhat realistic trade deadline for the Mavericks. Now, what is one move you want the Mavericks to make? Let us know in the comment section down below what you want the Mavericks to make. And again, fire off those trade ideas in the comments. Just to recap, for me, trade Grant Williams, try to upgrade there, ship him out, acquire a scoring 4. If it's a 3, I'm okay with that as well. Just someone with size that can score the basketball. And then, for God's sake, can you get a backup center behind Dereck Lively? It's a mess. That's our perfect trade deadline. Subscribe for more videos. It's youtube.com/MavsTV.